Welcome to the Barnes Flyover. This is your monthly update on all things 104th Fighter Wing, what's happening at Barnes Air National Guard Base, and how they're making an impact right here in the community of Westfield. Whether you're here to learn something new, check out what's happening, or just to hang out and listen, this podcast has got you covered. Let's take off into today's episode.
Woo!
All right, Johnny on the intro. Thank you, Johnny. Hi, Melanie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? And happy birthday.
Happy 1 year. We did it. We made it. Let's celebrate.
Yep. I was just looking at the logo, and we have our F-15 on there, and I'm wondering, do we change it to an F-35, or do we keep the F-15 because that was the start? I don't know, up for debate.
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, I really like the F-35, but then again, I would have been happy. Maybe put the A-10 in there. I don't know. That's just me. So let's get going. It's our 1 year anniversary. Let's get going in this show.
All right. We have. I think we have some special 1 year anniversary questions, or I know I've got mine.
I kind of want to know, what was your favorite episode?
I am a big fan of Master Sergeant Lawrence. I think he's great. So I really loved.
Right?
I really loved the Ruck March talk, just because that was one of the first events that I covered, like really cover it by myself when I started working here. So it might have a little bit of a special place for me. But I love going out and covering the Ruck March. I love seeing everyone sweating and exhausted and just really fighting through it. And so whenever he's on to talk about that, and he does such a great job coordinating the event, that was a really high moment for me in the past 12 episodes. How about you?
My favorite one is Moon, when we recorded him, and we did it. That was the first time that we did it off-site. It was kind of like in his office, and he told the story of how he got his call sign. True or not, I still remember going, what? And he's saying this in public, and so that was my favorite one.
A little fireside
I just
chat
like that. Yeah, I like that we were able to go off-site and do it. It was like,
that was fun.
We accomplished that. Yeah,
we did a lot in 12 episodes.
We did. Oh gosh, I know, it's been so good, and I love the fact that we've got base members coming on and talking, as well as the resources. And I'd like to just keep bringing in all of that stuff. I don't know if I'd change anything going forward.
We are still growing our subscribers. We get people coming in our office saying, "Hey, I just saw the podcast for the first time. Thought it was cool. Jay, not so much, but Melanie's awesome."
No, I hear people all the time say, "I recognize that voice." And we are opposites. I think we balance pretty good.
All right, next question. So, kind of related to the first one, what is the in the next 12 episodes, what is like your dream thing? Like, what is like your number one thing that you want to accomplish in an episode for over the next year?
I would like to see us do a podcast live on base.
I agree. That's mine too.
Oh yeah. So like either at the alumni dinner or somewhere. We work with Community Channel 15, Pete Cowles at the Westfield Technical Academy, and he now has a mobile truck. So he's able to come and do live for us or do recordings on site, way more professional than what we've been doing.
And I think we're going to get there. I'm not promising anything right now, but stay tuned, because I think we have some exciting stuff for you next year. Pete, I know you're all in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
So, all right, well, let's get going. We've got quite an episode today. We've got an amazing guest that really has a resource that can help you remember and honor a veteran or keep your stories told for history. So we'll get into that in a little bit. That's Jenn Baublitz from Homefront Strong. And I want to know about this fun fact in history.
All right, we got our fun fact. I tried to go deep and pull out a really good one for this special episode for you guys here. Today in aviation history, that picture there, if you are just listening on a podcast, if you don't have the video in front of you, the picture is of an A-12 ox cart. And that is the predecessor to the SR-71 Blackbird. April 30th, 1962, the Lockheed A-12 ox cart performed its first official, and I have official in quotations there, and I'll get to that, maiden flight at the top secret Groom Lake, which is also Area 51 in Nevada. It was built for the CIA to replace the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft. This bird was capable of reaching speeds of over Mach 3.2 and over 90,000 feet altitude. Retired in 1968, only 15 ever built. That one on the photo there is titled Article 121. All 15 were given different article names. And this plane flew so high and so fast that no missile could reach it.
Wow. Wow. It'd be interesting to know why they got rid of them.
I think it was just the Blackbird was just an upgrade to it.
Wow. Did you
also, the CIA got out of the spy business and turned it over to the Air Force.
Yes, thank you.
That jet reminds me of a rocket ship.
very cool. It is like mostly titanium, so it's very heavy. So the fact that it can still produce that speed and that height is amazing, especially in that time. And I did say first official because apparently a few days beforehand they took off by accident when they weren't looking to do their first official flight, and that flight only lasted a few minutes, allegedly. So then this one came a few days later, and this one lasted about 90 minutes.
Well, it'd be cool if they had recorded that. That would have been so cool. So speaking of history, if you guys take a look at our Air Scoop coming up, there's a historical story in there I wrote on, did Barnes Air National Guard Base or Barnes Municipal Airport, which one came first and where did the name come from? So if you want to read that story, I'm finding new things every time in history. The story goes back to 1917. So it's a pretty cool story. But moving on, let's see what we've got going on. What did we do in the community?
All right.
So on April 9th, Westfield Aviation Museum, we had 6 members from maintenance help clean up the outside, blowing leaves, helping with some paint jobs, just cleaning up the museum itself because they are going to be doing their open house soon, which is May 16th. But so we had 6 members doing that. We also partnered up with the Westfield Graves officer, Jean Thoreau, who taught 4 of our members how to properly clean and restore headstones in St. Mary's Cemetery. That was done on April 10th. And 3 of the members in St. Mary's Cemetery are previous members of the wing who had passed away in an aircraft. Yep, so that's for the community. We've also we did the Salem muster. We had 40 members. There's a picture of our St. Mary's Cemetery around the Banish Stone, Family Stone, and then our WAM volunteers. And then we also did the Salem muster. We had 40 members representing the 104th on April 11th. That was on drill weekend, and I know you went to that.
That was very fun. Funny story. I was looking at my Snapchat memories from a year ago around that time, and I saw the last year's one, and it was snowing on my drive to Salem last year. So this year we had perfect weather, a little chilly. I'm in my little T-shirt polo, and all of our guys are like, "Why is this guy in a T-shirt?" Like, well, because it was snowing last year, and it's 40 and sunny. Yeah, so
that was great.
It was a great event. They got to do the helicopter rappel down, which they didn't get to do last year, have the helicopter flyovers because of the rain. They didn't get to do that last year. Really great event. And I do have a quote from our senior enlisted leaders, Senior Master Sergeant Sean Dowd. "This moment is more than a ceremony. It is a living connection to the courage, sacrifice, and enduring legacy of the Massachusetts National Guard. To honor that history is to reaffirm our own commitment to duty, community, and country."
Love it. Love it.
So really great historical event. I love doing it every year. Actually, we weren't covering it this year, but I had our office go cover it just for a morale trip because it's so historical and just fun to be there and cover.
Great. Always great photos and stories come out of that too. We also had some graduates graduate Westfield State University, veterans from there. They celebrated the veterans, and 2 were in attendance for that ceremony: Chief Master Sergeant Chris Torres and Staff Sergeant Abby Lozada.
Congratulations.
They graduated. I do believe this is Chief Torres' 2nd master's degree.
Wow.
We also had 2 other graduates. Their names, Haldopoulos and DeRocher, I believe.
Yes.
They also graduated, but they were not in attendance for that ceremony. At the 104th, they really encourage people to get their education and pursue their degrees. It's just something that we always do. We even have Westfield State come to the base to help teach classes, and
it's awesome.
It's been a good opportunity. On April 20th, we did the Boston Marathon. So not only did we have members running in the marathon, Master Sergeant Bill Sabadosa and Staff Sergeant Jeremy Harris, but we also had our annual support that we always do. We had EOD, security, and medical support. They're available at the Boston Marathon to support if needed. And we had 9 members from the Mass Air National Guard running. So that was a great
awesome.
thing.
And then 2 104th members, right?
Yeah, the 2 104th, Bill Sabadosa and Jeremy Harris. Do you have a picture of Sabadosa running? There he is. There's his number. It's pretty good. He's a pretty good guy. April 20th, that was April 20th, the Boston Marathon. And then we've also did the Special Olympics on April 25th. That was done at Springfield College. These are things that we do every year. We had 10 to 12 participants helping with a full day of all sorts of things: event timers, athlete escorts, administrative, and doing the awards. Again, April 25th at Springfield College. Also moving on, mutual aid. Continue every month with our fire support. City of Holyoke needed aid for a structure fire, and City of East Hampton assisted. We assisted with their structure fire as well. And then lastly in the community, for my alumni friends, we had an A10 hog drivers, former and present. It's like a little mini reunion. They were there for the pending, and I say pending, sunset of the A10 because that's up for debate lately. But if you look at these photos, these were great. We had Gumby and Torch and Hatman and just... oh goodness, what's his name? But if you guys take a look at these photos, the 810 pilots were all there in Las Vegas together. Ian Jabot was the one who provided these photos. So that looked like a great event. Looked like a lot of fun.
How badly do you think some of these pilots still wanted to fly that
thing? So I only put 3 pictures up there, but they were definitely jealous. They were looking at, they had pictures of the cockpit and pictures of, I mean, they were like kids in a candy shop. Right. So it looked like a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So, all right, what's going on? What did we do on the base?
All right, a lot of base things that happened in April. Let's see, April 12th, we had a change of command. Let's see, where Colonel Randall assumed the mission support group. That was awesome. What else did we do? Best Warrior. We teased it a little bit last year and a couple episodes ago. Our very own public affairs A1C Elijah Harris competed in it. Still trying to get that podium finish, but he worked his butt off, and I don't know anyone who could honestly do it harder in less amount of prep time.
No kidding. And it was the second year doing it. You'd think one and done. No, this guy came back out and did it another year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Emotional intelligence classes are still going with Chaplain Josh Carollo. I believe there is still classes happening on that. June 9 is an open class for any rank. I've gone to a couple of these, one's just for myself, one's to cover. It's such a valuable asset. It's such a valuable course. You do learn a lot of conflict resolution, decision-making skills, a lot of things that will apply to your everyday life. So
and you do walk away with a book. Like you have materials and things to reference afterwards. So.
And I think you walk away with some lunch, too, so that's never a bad thing.
Lunch and I think breakfast, so that's always good.
Okay, that's awesome. I would like you to talk about this one more because you actually went to this thing. I believe we went to the 115th fighter.
Yeah. So throughout our F-35 conversion training, we've been traveling to different areas that have the F-35. I recently went to Wisconsin to the 115th and trained with the public affairs office there to see how they do things. And while I was there, I was also covering our own training going on between the 104th and the 115th. We do have cadres that were there for up to 2 months. And then we also had members that were coming and going 2 weeks at a time, just getting some hands-on training at an actual F-35 base. So there's a video on socials about that, and it is the highlight of our air scoop this month. If you want to read the story on that type of training that they went through, it's always great to go where they have what we're going to have and get that hands-on training.
And I do love that units will go to other units for knowledge and for that expertise and that experience. Like even now, like as we are ramping up our F-35 everything conversion efforts, there are units here that will be getting the F-35 eventually, and they're seeing how we're doing it and how we're doing our processes versus how the 115th might be doing it, and it's just it's a really fine-tuned machine.
It's a big team
a lot of moving parts.
Right now we are doing our induction process, and you guys will see stuff about that soon, but we have the Wisconsin Guard here who's already gone through it assisting us. There's us who's going through it right now, and then we have Kingsley Field from Oregon here learning what they're going to do. So they haven't gotten their F-35s. They're getting them in about a year. So, yeah, we all team up together no matter where we are in the country, and we learn and educate each other on that.
Awesome. What was the most fun thing you did at Wisconsin while you were not working?
Oh, I went to a steakhouse. Okay, it looked like a speakeasy. It was this low-lighted, it was the first supper club. I've never heard of a supper club, but it was first supper club that they had in the area. And I had the most expensive steak I've ever had in my life. And a lot of people know me. I don't really eat a lot of meat or red meat. Oh, my God, it was to die for. Like, it was totally worth every penny, and I will definitely go back there and spend that much money on a steak again.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I love a good steak, so I have to write that one down.
Yeah.
Awesome. Speaking of F-35 equipment, I believe we have a couple of photos right here. Look at that timing. Yeah, we are getting a lot of equipment coming in. It is flying in. We are fully ramped up for our conversion, fully expected to be. on track with our first F-35 arrival expected in mid-June, and we're just making sure that we have everything in place to make sure that we can support it fully.
Yeah. This one, our hangar was completely full with equipment. Senior Master Sergeant Adam Casineau is the wing NCOIC for the induction process and all of the equipment coming in.
Yeah, and I think there was maybe over 100 people working in that hangar, and just everyone knew their job. It was just like an assembly line, and everyone was just so coordinated and just working so efficiently. It was really cool to watch.
Yep, stay tuned for those videos, and those will come out next week. Yep.
All right. Upcoming community events. Melanie will touch on this, but are on the upcoming community events. But just a quick note about the Environmental Restoration Program. So this is a continuing effort that we are continuing to do with the National Guard Bureau and the Massachusetts National Guard. We are continuing to start now that it's spring and that the weather is warmer, there's no more government shutdown to impact things, the ground's a little bit softer. We are now starting all of those off-site drilling for the ground soil and the groundwater testing for PFAS. We are continuing those efforts as a part of the restoration program. We do detail a lot about our environmental efforts and the Restoration Advisory Board on our website. The Restoration Advisory Board just kind of talks about where the wing is and where the Mass National Guard is in those efforts, and it is open to anyone to attend and join. The next RAB meeting is July 23rd at 6 p.m., and that can be either in the Westfield
Athenaeum.
Thank you.
Which is the
library. Never say that word. Or on Teams. So if you are interested, please reach out to us or go to our website to learn more about that, because it is a really valuable.
Right. We also still have Westfield State is still offering those classes. We're into our summer program. They're doing speech and math. It runs from May 19th to June 30th. If you have any questions about any of the classes that Westfield State offers on base, speak with our retention manager, Master Sergeant Bento Fernandez, and there is a registration form on our SharePoint. And then upcoming on May 16th, we have the Westfield Aviation Museum Open House Fly Day. This is to thank the members of Barnes Airport and Barnes Air National Guard Base. It's their biggest event of the year. They're going to have local displays from the 104th, Wright Flight, Civil Air Patrol, Bright Ideas Brewing will be there. You can come in, sit in an airplane. Mac and Sliders will be there,
yes.
And I know they're one of my favorite ones. I don't want to solicit, but I love Mac and Sliders. And then if the weather cooperates, you get a ride in one of those vintage aircraft. So, and like I said, Barnes members and employees of the airport are priority for that day. It's a big thank you. Oh my goodness. Their lobby is highlighting all of the 104th history. So that's something interesting to come in. And they are a living, active museum for vintage aircraft. So
yes.
It's just a really cool place. The hangar opens up and
a lot of cool airplanes in there. I don't know who owns that red one or that yellow one, but if they're going up, I will be on that.
I think Hat Man, owns the yellow one. But either way. So we've got some stuff coming up on the base. Let's hear a little bit about that, Jay.
Yeah, we got some base events coming up. May 1, we have a resource on base. Speaking of May 1, so we have drill coming up. We have no kids club this May RSD, but there will be on the Saturday of June drill. The clinic will not be here for May RSD, so please make any accommodations that you need to for that. Resource visits, as I mentioned, the May 1 National Park Passes. I asked you about this morning because mine has been expired for a very long time. And I would love to go to more national parks, but I don't want them to take my expired card.
Oh, definitely go speak with them. It's Matthew Chapman. He used to work in CE. He will be here in his new role for the national parks, and you can ask him those questions because I'm not actually sure on the eligibility, but he will be in the dining facility from 12:30 to 1500.
Yes, I will be there. I'm trying to think of the next national park I want to go to. I can't think of one. Maybe Acadia. Have you been there?
I have been to Acadia. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, then we got church service.
Church service on the Sunday of May RSD. 1100 will be Catholic Mass. 12:30 will be the general Christian worship. So those to look forward to. May 1st, tomorrow at 3 p.m., right outside Building 54, we have, hosted by the Defenders Association, we have a 5K Police Week Ruck. We will definitely be covering that. I will not be running in it, but we will be covering it. Really great I believe Nicole Waters is the POC, and there's a QR code for those of you who are looking at the video portion of this. I believe there is still time to sign up, and more information is on that flyer there, which is also, I believe, on our SharePoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Doso.
So Pioneer Valley Club, 1500 to 2100. They're doing their event this weekend. It's always fun over there. Crazy Arepa's food truck will be there starting at 3 or 1500. Door gifts, music, games, raffles. Should be fun.
That's a long time, too. That's a lot of dancing.
Yeah.
Every when I was stationed in Virginia, every Friday our office would have Fiesta Friday, and we'd play salsa music.
Oh,
and
fun.
For half an hour a day, I actually learned how to do salsa dancing and
fun.
merengue and
Fun.
cumbia. So if I'm there, I'm dancing.
All right. What else we got?
What else do we have here?
Base
All right.
cleanup day.
Base cleanup day, another fun one. BYOWB, bring your own wheelbarrows.
I was like, what acronym is that?
May 8th, a lot of good stuff going around on base. I know there's a lot of big cleanup efforts, especially with conversion and having to renovate and just modify and just update a lot of the space and buildings and landscaping that we have here. And that'll help a lot for the May 15th F100 dedication, because they make that area look so amazing, and that is such an important tradition that we've done, I believe, since 1986. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's since 1986. Every year we do a ceremony which dedicates to the 13 fallen airmen since 1948.
Right, and alumni are invited to that, and then everybody goes over to the Pioneer Valley Club after that.
Awesome.
Speaking of alumni, the alumni dinner is coming up. It is growing like fast. Alumni dinners are getting very popular, which I'm glad. I'm glad to see. If you want to go to the dinners, it's usually cost is $22. Social hour is $1,700. Dinner is $1,800. They also do raffles and alumni merchandise. They had 558 attend this year alone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. If you have any questions and you want to get on to the email or just go to one of the dinners, you can reach Tom Sandville at 413-433-2529 or Len Freegon, 413-589-9157. And they also have an email address, alumni104th@gmail.com. You can email them. And of course, you can reach out to the Public Affairs Office if you didn't catch that and you do want to reach them, we can connect you with them as well.
Awesome. Last but not least, June 12th, we have our Welcome to the F-35 Golf Tournament. Just throwing it out there now to anyone that still might need a player. My handicap is about 25 these days.
I have
so
no idea what that means.
It means I'm below average to bad.
Oh, I have no idea. I never understood golf. Why is it?
Okay, so if 74 is like the par on the course, then if my handicap is 20, that means I typically shoot a 94. So the lower the handicap, the better. So if you have a 0 handicap, that means you're like shooting par every single
And
time.
I still have no idea what all that means.
Okay.
I've never understood, though, from the history of me being in the military, golf tournaments have always been around. People like to go.
I think people like drinking. Just
I was
kidding.
wondering,
But
I'll drive the golf cart. I think that is it for today.
yeah, I think that's all we got. Melanie, do you have any save rounds for us?
No, but heads up.
Tour program.
Oh, my goodness.
Save round tour program. Thank you so much to all of your groups that reached out to us. We are full for the tour program this year. We are still taking requests for the tour program next year. We cannot wait to continue doing this amazing tour program for you guys. Every time that we have a tour group come out here, they love it. We love it. So we're super excited to kick off the tour program. Super excited. I said it again.
And also, the tours can be, obviously to see the F-35s when they get here. But if you have a school or something and you're looking to do maybe like a history walk or other areas on the base, Smith Vocational comes out and looks at our metals tech department. We also have another group coming out looking at security forces because it coincides with their technical programs at the schools. Those are things that we can also do as well.
If you do work on base and you do want to do any of that, PA must be involved for all tours, even if it's just showing 3 people your own shop. We have to be involved. So that's just a caveat to that.
Just some updates on our conversion corner because it's coming in fast and quickly. 38 personnel currently off base training, 2 from LRS, and 60 maintainers are already back home.
Awesome.
Yep, we have 4 fully qualified pilots, 7 that are in training, and we have 15 new construction projects starting with ops in June. And 20 is the number of F-35s that we're scheduled to get. And just remember that Barnes remains a critical location in defense of our nation, meaning that at any time anyone can land and we can support them. So I know that the community has noticed anytime we have anything flying around. We had a C-130 yesterday.
Did we? I did not see that.
Yeah, he was circling around. So, yeah, we can support the aircraft because we are still an open and ready location. Yep.
Awesome.
I think that's it. That's
All
it
right.
for our
So
report.
coming up next, we have from Homefront Strong, Jenn Baublitz. Talk about storytelling, all things about what Homefront Strong can offer for veterans and family members.
That's right. All right.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Be right back.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again. Whenever we get it, there's no hesitation, no.
Welcome back. This is Jenn Baublitz from Homefront Strong. Thank you for being with us
Woo!
today. Yay!
Thank you so much for inviting me.
One of the main reasons I wanted you to be on for the month of May, for Memorial Day, is that one of the resources, or your main resource, is storytelling. And what a great way to honor and remember a veteran or a family member than by telling their story. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you know, we're a tiny organization located technically in Palmer, but our biggest program is our storytelling program. And our storytelling program knows no bounds. We have stories from service members, veterans, and family members throughout Massachusetts and surrounding states. And our storytelling program, unlike others, is actually rooted in our community peer support program. So when we capture the stories of military connected individuals, we focus on the process, not necessarily the product. For us, it's all about building the community, helping the individual process and tell their story. And if they're interested, we share their story. There are a lot of different avenues individuals can approach. If they're interested in the Veterans History Project with the Library of Congress, we'll help assist them with submitting their story to that through that avenue. But otherwise, we share them on our YouTube page.
Awesome.
Tell me a little bit more about the Library of Congress.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is actually the origin of our storytelling program. Many years ago, when we were known as the Brookfield Institute, our founder, Beverly Presswood Taylor, came across the Veterans History Project with the Library of Congress. And at that time, what they were doing is they were archiving stories of combat veterans and Gold Star family members. So Beverly, because much of the work she did was in her hometown of Ware and Hardwick with the local veterans, started trying to capture the stories of the Vietnam veterans she was working with before it became too late. She trained up a couple of individuals who volunteered to help with that process. The Veterans History Project is very specific. It is archival. So when you submit a story, there are a lot of guidelines around what you can submit. As I mentioned, at that time, it was specific to combat veterans and Gold Star families. They have since opened up their catchment to include anyone who meets the federal definition of veteran can submit their stories. But when you develop a story for them, it has to be, it can be written, video, I would have to double check on just audio, but nonetheless, if it's a video, it has to be an uncut interview, a minimum of 30 minutes long. You have to take the video and then document it about every 90 seconds and complete a lot of paperwork. Yeah, it's super specific, and it's very much just documentation. Archival documentation.
So that's an option, but you also have the other avenues. So that, but I believe that the other eligibility for telling their stories isn't just the service member themselves; it's the families as well, because they all have a story.
Correct. So as I mentioned, when we were trying to meet the moment of the pandemic, we had established a community peer support program we called Connects. And as that program was growing, we were looking for easier ways for individuals to connect with our volunteers. And we serve all service members, veterans, and family members, regardless of discharge status or your service status. So very much Guard, Reserve, and active duty. And because Beverly had done the storytelling previously, we decided it might be a good on-ramp or avenue for individuals to access that peer support. It can be easier to say, yeah, I'm willing to chat with someone and tell my story than it is to say I'm lonely and I'm looking for someone to talk with. And so what we ended up doing is we integrated it into our volunteer training. Like I said, we focus on the process, not necessarily the product. But in the intervening years, as the demand for Connects, the community peer support, has somewhat decreased or started to look a little bit different, the storytelling has only grown. And based on the experiences of our volunteers and the storytellers who have accessed our program, we've actually enhanced the training so that it is a workshop series that walks all participants through becoming a storyteller themselves, as well as receiving a story. We've integrated a lot of visual arts into our storytelling program. So the workshop series includes many activities that focus on, the visuals and eliciting the stories. We do have an annual event. It's our Shape by Service art show, which we are currently partnering up with Warriors Art Room to host. At the Shape by Service art show, we have a lot of our storytellers produce pieces that can be shown. We also have a lot of our artists who tell the stories behind their service and where it intersects with their art.
Jay,
so there's live storytelling at that reception. And preceding the art show, we have workshops that will allow storytellers to create visual pieces that they would be interested in submitting. So it's really taken on this kind of whole new life form. In addition to the workshops and the events, we created a storytelling guide, and it's a very interactive guide. It walks individuals through the process of reflecting on your life story, your family story, legacy, heritage, and then your story of military service or connection with military service. So it's really become so much more than the original, submit a few stories to Library of Congress.
Yeah. So in our office, I have two of my artworks on the wall. One's a collage and one is an owl. And those are the ones that I did for this project. And then one of them, the one that's the collage of everything, I did record a story of what it means, what that art piece means.
Okay, very cool.
So that's an example.
Love
if anybody
that.
wants to come into the public affairs office, you can see the artwork that I did, and all sorts of artwork get displayed at those shows too. And I love that you're working with Warriors Art Room with this. They do a lot with our base. They're going to be at our upcoming Family Day, so heads up for that one.
Excellent.
But they are a military background, military family themselves, active members and veterans. And so they will keep it up for about a month. Is that what they're doing this year?
Actually, they open the show for 2 full months.
Oh, wow.
So, it kicks off on November 1st, which, Veterans Day season, because it is an entire season for us. And it runs right up into the first of the year.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they display all of the work for 2 straight months. Artists have an opportunity to sell their pieces if they so choose. It's up to the artists to communicate with prospective buyers, but it's great visibility. The Warriors Art Room, whenever they have volunteers manning the art room, their doors are wide open. Last year, when we had the artist reception, there was a wedding going on down the hall in their building. So we had just onlookers, people walking by who popped in and checked out the gallery. So the visibility is great. It's a really cool building, and the space is it's really conducive to a lot of different type of artwork.
Awesome. I've got a two-part question for you, and it might be a little specific because it's a little bit personal to me. I love to write. I've written a lot about my Coast Guard days. I've written a poem that kind of details like some search and rescue missions, a lot of stuff that like helped me kind of get off my chest when writing it. So I guess kind of a three-part question. Do you accept like any form of like creative writing? And does it matter if it's already published somewhere else? And then lastly, what do you think the benefit is of just like having a veteran be able to tell their story and share it with others?
Yeah, so first thing, yes, absolutely. We accept all manner of creative writing, whether it's, sharing the pieces on the website or framing them and displaying them in the art show, which we absolutely have had individuals submit their poems and even books, that are displayed during the art show. We've had veterans write their story, and if they're uncomfortable filming their story themselves, we have local actors do dramatic readings.
Wow.
And those will go up on YouTube. So we keep all options wide open. We like to be as creative as possible. We like to, like I said, partner up with as many local resources as we can. So the students, for example, over at Elms College, who engage the media internship every summer, they'll edit the stories, they'll film if we have something to film, they'll help with graphics, formatting, you name it. And of course, we have volunteers who have a variety of talents and skills who are also able to assist.
Wow.
So the answer to number one is yes. Number two, refresh my memory on number two, because I do remember number three.
So a little bit more specific to me, because that poem I wrote about my service was published. Can I still submit it? Awesome.
Absolutely. We have individuals share their stories with us who have shared their stories with other organizations previously. Some are published, some are pretty popular. It doesn't matter. When they share their story with us, they might be sharing a different part of the story, a different angle. Maybe it's the same story. It doesn't matter. It's whatever the individual wants to tell in that moment. Because, of course, our stories keep on going.
They're just chapters.
And lastly, the benefit. Yeah, absolutely. Chapters is right, Mel. And the benefit, of course, of storytelling is it's really deep and really rich. So there are myriad benefits for the storyteller. The storytelling process, of course, it mirrors the therapeutic narrative process that a lot of clinicians utilize when helping individuals process whether it's trauma or difficult events in their life. We do not take a clinical approach, but it is cathartic nonetheless, and the individual telling the story has that opportunity to process those events, really integrate the event into their identity. Sometimes individuals will start the storytelling process thinking it's going to go in one direction, and it goes in a completely other direction. It's for both the storyteller and the listener. It's extremely validating. All of our volunteers, everybody who receives a story of service has a service connection themselves. They're either service member, veteran, or family member. And though we have a lot of common experiences, there's also a lot of diverse stories of service out there. So just having our unique stories heard and received by someone who can empathize on some level is extremely validating for the storyteller and very enriching, of course, for the person who receives the story. So there are a great deal of really just mental health and spiritual benefits when it comes to storytelling. The more we share our stories, the more we're able to communalize those different themes in our stories, whether it is a trauma and resilience theme, which we know a lot of military members have, or it's a message we're looking to convey. Sometimes our storytellers are very specific about the story they want to tell because they want to share whether it is the story of overcoming difficulties associated with, you name it, LGBTQ status or women in military or individuals of color or any other piece of their identity and, you know, the challenges they faced. And sometimes individuals are just looking to document their story for family heritage and legacy. We have individuals who come and they tell the story of their uncle who served in World War II or their dad who's long since passed, but they want to capture that family story. And then later they come back to tell their story as well. So the benefits, again, are really myriad. They're very deep. You form deep connections when you share your story with someone else.
It's also a way to remember. So I used to
Yes.
I used to volunteer with them, and one of the things I always said was, when you're sitting around that table and your grandfather or grandmother are telling their stories, and you wish that you could have recorded those stories to hear them
Exactly.
forever, or to pass them on to the other family members. This is one way to do that. To just remember those stories, good, bad, whatever. Just it was a chapter of their life that was unique to them. Can I ask you, how much does it cost for somebody to do this?
For somebody to come and tell their story with us, there is zero cost. There is zero cost
Okay.
associated with the program. Of course, it costs us money to run the program, but we never charge for accessing the program. I rely on an amazing team of volunteers. Our training team is, I think we're at like 5 strong, and we have volunteers who, they receive story after story after story, and then they end up getting kind of suckered onto the training team. And and right now, I think we have Pat Reed, who is our chief storytelling trainer. She's amazing. She not only volunteers with us, but she really just dove into storytelling. With both feet. Her father served in World War II, and she spent more than a decade as a rehabilitation counselor working with post 9/11 vets who were suffering from TBI. So she's just phenomenal. John Cipolla, who zooms in from Minnesota. He's a retired Minnesota National Guard chaplain, former executive director of his own nonprofit. AJ, he's a longtime friend, board member, also retired National Guard. You name it. They're just amazing people. Paula is a recent trainer. She has an MFA, so she has really infused a lot of different artistic activities into the storytelling program, and just brought a lot to what we do. So, and they volunteer their time. They're just amazing people with tremendous skills, and they volunteer their time. And we train individuals who are interested in storytelling. And when they're available and I have a story to match them with, I'll match them. But part of the focus, the shift towards workshops, is to also give individuals who go through the training that opportunity to share, to film, to capture those short stories as we go. Because life is life, and we may start developing a story and it gets put on hold. So we're always looking for new ways to capture those stories a little bit more quickly, and also engage our volunteers and storytellers on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
So how does someone reach out? How does the process work? If
I was gonna ask, like, you have definitely convinced me. I cannot wait to go home and submit my poem that I have.
Excellent.
Seriously, I really cannot wait. I have an MFA as well. Like, I love all of this. So how do I get that poem to you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So there are a bunch of different ways you can do it. You can easily just email me, jbaublitz@homefrontstrongus.org. On our website, anybody who's interested in becoming a volunteer or someone who receives these stories, we have a volunteer application. We do have a contact form on the website. If you want to just shoot me an email, I'll circle back. We'll schedule a Zoom. We'll chat about what that looks like.
Awesome.
I can point you in the right direction. In terms of submitting work, the art show link, I believe, is already live.
Okay.
So
I think
the
we have
call
a
to
flyer
artists
too.
is going to...
Pete.
What's that?
Well, we have a flyer. I have Pete. I think
Excellent.
it's the first ones.
Perfect.
Yep. There we
Yeah,
go.
so I need to double check. I'm pretty sure I actually refreshed all of those links. I actually got on our calendar pretty early this year, so I was excited. But yeah, those links are live, and there's a simple Google form if you want to submit your pieces for the art show. Put in as much information as you have in the moment. You can always go back and update it. The call to artists for the art show does not close off until late October.
Okay.
So that's open, it's ongoing, and it's a very simple process.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, there was so
can't
much.
wait.
There's so much about this program that I really wanted to focus on the storytelling. But if we have a few more minutes, what else do you provide for resources? I know that you're located primarily in an area where there's not a lot of resources for veterans. So, what is the area? It's the Quabbin area. What's the area that you
Yeah.
cover, and what other sorts of things, real quick, do you provide?
Super quick. Yeah, we are, Quabog Valley is really our core, our catchment. Our office is located in Palmer, and we work with the Palmer VSO to host a monthly morning coffee, which takes place at the AMVETS facility in Three Rivers. And that monthly morning coffee, it's much like the morning coffees that take place across the state, but we invite service providers and, local civil servants, whomever has information to share with our constituents to come and visit us. It's always the third Wednesday of the month from 10 to 11:30. We have a variety of resources that have presented to our veterans and their family members, everything from legal services to the town tax collector, Military One Source, and all things in between. We keep them updated on local happenings and events across the state. I was even successful in getting one of our Palmer families to go take advantage of a dear colleague of mine, Harvey Weiner, who's a lawyer. He and and James, and his name is escaping me, so I apologize. They offer Wheels for Vets annually, and it's a little bit more than just that. They will sit down and they will do all end-of-life planning with a veteran for free. It's like a $1,500 benefit. Harvey does work in Boston. He's at a Peabody Arnold, and I was able to get one of our Palmer guys to go and take advantage of that because we were able to share it at our morning coffee. We also had Veterans Legal Services come out all the way from Boston to present to our group at that same time. So we're hyper local resources, but we're also trying to bring in all of what's available to veterans and military families to our morning coffee. That is our regular local programming. And then, of course, our community peer support connects. It still exists. We still have volunteers who are willing to match with individuals for a variety of stopgap supports, whether it is just loneliness, looking for someone to chat with, or something very targeted and specific, like accessing a specific resource or accomplishing a particular goal. Like I said before, that's become a little less popular as needs shift, but we still have a foundation in community resilience building and family resilience at the heart of all our programs. So we offer the peer support as well, mostly in the Quabog Valley region.
Right.
It's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, it's an amazing organization. And I do know that you can go to the website and check out some of the stories that were previously recorded.
Yes.
I also want to foot stomp that if somebody records a story, and I know this from my volunteer work with them, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if they record a story and they're going through the process and they're like, I can't do this anymore, it can absolutely be stopped. I also know that if something's been recorded and you put it up on YouTube or on your Facebook and then they're not getting quite the feedback they wanted, or maybe they're just uncomfortable, it can be taken down. The only time that it becomes more permanent is when you go through the Library of Congress.
Okay. We
Correct.
might be
And-
up against the clock here a little bit, but what would happen if like a story would have like something too sensitive in it? Is there like a safeguard for that, or?
So these are all trained people that are working with the storytellers, and so they actually they have knowledge of resources and things that can help the person if they do come across a sensitive subject. But yeah, if they're telling their story, they want someone to hear it, they want someone to listen, and but these guys are all trained. They have the resources in the background with it.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And Jen, you have a what's your degree? With your degree and your background, you also check in with all of the volunteers to make sure that it's like a monthly or weekly check-in.
Yeah,
or-
we meet. Yep, we meet monthly on Zoom. I am myself a military spouse. My husband's been in the Air Force for 23, going on 24 years now. He's active Guard Reserve with the 103rd, Bradley.
Woo.
And I also have, like you said, credentials in. My credentials are vast. They're psychology, education, counseling, adjustment, and resilience for helping professionals. So like I said, I infuse everything with a lot of nerdy theoretical foundation. But yes, we provide a lot of information around receiving difficult topics. We call them our themes in Stories of Service. Our volunteers are prepared to respond. We have those resources. We meet monthly to discuss the process. And ultimately, the storyteller owns their story.
Right.
You can start a story, decide to stop it a week later, a year in, it doesn't matter. We have people who record their story and it never gets shared. They just want it for their family. That's fine as well. So 100%, it is up to the storyteller, and we just go with what their wishes are. And of course, we never we never post anything. Nothing goes live on YouTube unless they viewed it and given their final stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so happy that you're here today, and I hope that we have a lot of listeners listening to the resources that you provide. It's
Yes.
such a unique way for people to tell their stories, and I just love it. So thank you so much for being here today.
I know I learned a lot, and you'll be seeing an email from me shortly. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me. It's
All
been
right.
a pleasure.
We'll talk soon.
Thank
bye.
you.
And that's all we have for you today. Thank you for joining us and for celebrating our first birthday with you.
Thank you so much for staying with us through all the trials and tribulations. We made it 12 episodes. Thank you so much for all of your support, for your ideas, your feedback, your comments. We appreciate all of it, and we cannot wait to do another year of this. So
Yes, thank you.
unless we have any save rounds, I think we're good to go and call it a one successful year of 12 episodes.
Yes, thank you. I think we're good.
All right, thank you.